Hey guys, welcome back. We've got the barrel in, we've got the front trunnion in, we have the rest of the parts kit demilled, we've got the trigger guard, and then there's also this other little funky piece that goes under the trigger guard. So what we're going to do is we're going to rivet the trigger guard to the receiver. We're going to use our Toth tool trigger guard rivet crusher thing. So I'm going to get that set up, and I'll show you what that looks like all set up. But there's one point I wanted to point out, was that this little guy here has a little bit of a hook on it, and what that is that's the lever stop for the safety. So when you got that big long safety sliding up and down on the right hand side of the receiver, this little guy here is what stops the safety from sliding all the way off the gun. So what I just wanted to point out, that it's very important that you have that on the right side of the gun. So where the obviously where the safety selector is. So you're going to have that dangling off of that side. So I'm going to go ahead and get this set up and get this in here in my Toth tool trigger guard setter. I'm going to get it in there, and then I'll before I get started crushing the rivets, I'll show you what that looks like, and then we can crush the rivets together. So hold that thought. Okay, I'm not quite set up yet, but I wanted to get this part. So you can see I've got the metal rod in there, or metal block rather. That's on the tail end of the rivets. So I'm going to be applying pressure to that with this guy here. And you notice this has a little bit of a U shape on it. That's because that goes over the cross section of the receiver. That just sits in there like that. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this guy here, and we're going to thread it into the set of holes here. There's one here and one on the other side. And what we're going to do is we're going to crush those 4 rivets that hold the trigger guard. You'll notice there's a set of holes here, and that's because we have another rivet in there right behind where the trigger comes out. So that's what that looks like. Just wanted to get that real quick. So I'm going to get it set up rest of the way, and then we'll crush those rivets together. Okay, so I've got everything set up. I've got everything tightened down, and got the blocks all in place. Now I'm just going to start cranking on these. Now it's important to try to do it as evenly as possible. And what I mean by that is, you know, do a half turn one side, half turn the other side, full turn kind of thing. So we're just going to go ahead and get started here. I'm going to do about a half turn. Half turn. And we're literally just going to do this until when we look in here, our metal block, you're literally going to see it crushing the rivets. When you look in there, and it's going to be hard for the camera to see, and I apologize in advance, but when you look in there, you're going to see, I can see the rivets, and I can see them getting squished. So once that metal block in there is almost touching the bottom of the receiver, you're going to be just about there. So I'm just going to do half turns to apply even pressure. And this is pretty easy. You don't need a whole lot of muscle to do this. And it does get a little bit harder towards the end, because we're squashing 4 steel rivets right now. 4 solid steel nails, essentially. This is another part. If you were doing a traditional build, you would have to have a shop press to do this. But we're cool And we've got Toth tools, so we don't need no stinking shop press. Okay. This is probably going to take me a little bit longer, so I'm going to go ahead and just pause the video so when you guys come back you'll be able to see it. Okay guys, I got the trigger guard in. Well, part of it anyway. I still got to do the back rivet, but I've got the grab the camera here. I've got the front part in. You see those rivets look real nice and flat. I tugged on the trigger guard a couple times. Very sturdy. You can see the shiny pieces in there. Those are those newly squashed rivets, and those look professionally done. They look great. They look better than the rivets in your wasser. Just kidding. I've had a wasser. They're decent guns. So, and yeah, there it is. So now I'm just gonna reset up the rivet thing so I can do the back rivet, and it's same process, except only you're gonna have the metal. You're gonna have the screws and the metal block in the back, and you're gonna be applying pressure to the back one. So guys, I mean, this AK is almost functional. If we put the trigger group in right now and did the rear trunnion, we'd have a functioning AK. You know, once obviously we put the furniture on, but we're almost there. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this last rivet, and then I'll show you how to do the rear trunnion. So there it is, guys. Stay tuned. I'll be back in a little bit. Hey guys, I almost forgot to mention, I'm doing the rear rivet here, and in your parts kit, your AK builder rivet set, or whatever set you use, most likely they're going to have a small rivet. Like what I mean by that is a short rivet. So you're going to have standard length rivets for like your trunnions and your trigger guard, and then you're just going to have one small guy, and that small rivet is for the back. So I just want to throw that out there and let you know that, so that way you weren't like, well, where the hell is this supposed to go, or something like that. So yeah, that's it. Okay, stay tuned. Okay, so got the rivet or the trigger guard in. Got that last rivet done, nice and squashed in there. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah. That nice squashed rivet, nice big and flat. And then those other guys are nice and squashed. You can really tug on this guy, and it is just solid. So, got our trigger guard in, got our front trunnion in. We get our rear trunnion in, and we're gonna have and then obviously put our trigger in. But we put our rear trunnion in, put our trigger in. We're gonna have a functioning gun, so that's pretty cool. And check this out. Oh yeah, nice lockup. A little bit of wobble, but could be this shitty mag that I got. So yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. So that's the trigger guard. So now we're going to move on to the rear trunnion, and stay tuned, we'll get that done. Okay, so we're doing the rear trunnion, and we're using the Toth tool, long rivet tool. And this one, like I said, this one's a little bit more complicated than the other ones. Essentially, you're going to have to support this side of the gun with something about the same height as the platform of this tool. Now this is going to be kind of difficult to show, so I'll do my best. This tool kind of is a little bit difficult, but essentially you've got your long rivet in there, okay, and you have this little thing that looks like a nut at the bottom. Now what that has is a little recess in it that protects the rivet head. So you've got your rivet head being supported by that little nut with a recess in it. And then you've got this thing here that has a metal rod in it that has basically the shape of a rivet head, and what it's going to do is it's going to squash that long rivet. I don't know if you can see that long rivet sticking in there. It's going to squash that long rivet, and it's going to form the other side of that head. So these rivets, you know, it's just a long shank, and you're essentially squashing it to form the other side of it. So I'll do my best to try to stop and show what that looks like. But like I said, this tool is a little bit more complicated. So I mean, it's easy. You can get it. You can use it. It's easy to use, but it's a little bit more moving parts, a little bit more complicated. So yeah, I'll try to do my best to show you that. So stay tuned. All right, so I used the Toth tool, long rivet crusher, and I got very nice rivets. As you can see, they look really good. This is another area where you would need to use a press otherwise. So we used the Toth tools and it worked out real well. So yeah, we pretty much have a gun that would be ready to function if we put a trigger in, which I have, and put the safety on and the you know, the gas tube and all that. This gun would be ready to fire. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put it together real quick and show it to you, and then I'll have some closing comments, and we'll just go from there. All right.